Hey folks, it's Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be my video philosophy is mental masturbation. We're going to start off with talking about science, and then we're going to talk about philosophy. Now to give us a contrast, and I'll let you know why I consider philosophy to be mental masturbation. Okay, I'm going to read from my notes here, which will also be in the information section of the video if you want to just read it too. A scientist has a thought, then is curious to see if that thought is correct, so he sets up an experiment to test his idea against reality. Depending on the experiment results, his thoughts will go in potentially many different directions. Notice that if the scientist's thoughts were faulty, then reality will let him know. If his thoughts are right, reality will likewise let him know. Thus, science has thoughts and tests them against reality, which gives them a feedback loop with the reality, or a reality check, if you will. So it's just thoughts, reality, and they're highly interlinked. Notice that science is basically using Principle 5, question everything, and Principle 6, know your teacher, reality of falling away growth, or FWG for short. If you're new or interested in FWG, the first link in the information section of this video will give you a brief introduction to it, while the second link will give you an expanded view of falling away growth. So falling away growth is a system I developed, and it's going to be the future of spirituality, which you may or may not agree with it, but if you read it and you're open-minded and smart, you'll probably figure it out. Next point, science was born out of philosophy, but it has moved past it. You know, I can see some people first start out, they were questioning things, and some smart guy comes along and says, okay, we need to move a little bit beyond questioning things. We need to start testing some of these things, and that's how I think science was born, but I don't know. I'm not a historian. So anyway, next point. Likewise, FWG was born out of learning from a lot of other religions, but it's going to move past them. Okay? And so here's the diagram of how science works. And it's really, like I say, it's real simplified, but it gets to the point. You know, basically you have a thought. Then that thought leads to an experiment. Then based on the experiment's results, your thoughts will go in many different directions. And then if it's this way, then your thoughts, you know, if you're correct, then, you know, the experiment, you'll have a new experiment and go in different directions. Same down here. If you're wrong, then you set up a different experiment, boom. So, I mean, it's just, notice, you have to keep your thoughts in line with reality. And that's going to be a big problem for philosophy because it doesn't do that. Okay, now let's look at how philosophy works. Let's first start with Webster's definition of philosophy: a search for a general understanding of values and reality by chiefly speculative rather than observational means. And you know, a lot of things in life sound good but aren't even come close. And Camden said, I'm going to get this a little bit wrong because I don't have it wrote down in front of me, a little experience upset a lot of theory, and that's the basic problem of philosophy. It stays in thought. So let me just read what I wrote here. So here is how philosophy works. The philosopher has a thought, and it's interesting, which leads to more interesting thoughts. Then the philosopher might write them all down and get some kind of internal consistency of the thoughts. However, here's the big mistake of philosophy. It never bounces its ideas off of reality. Therefore, it does not have a feedback loop with reality, or a reality check, if you will. I can just hear a philosopher saying, but we abstract from reality to keep our ideas pure. Yeah, I masturbate too to keep myself pure. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So here's how philosophy goes. Thoughts lead to thoughts, lead to thoughts, lead to thoughts. And notice it's just mental masturbation. If you've ever done any kind of scientific kind of stuff, I mean, a lot of things seem right but are completely wrong. So, you know, anyway, look at the relative difference in power of science and philosophy. Science seems to have unlimited power, while philosophy seems to be basically ignored. I mean, when I first started my spiritual journey, I looked into some philosophy, and it didn't have no power to it. There was no power because it didn't have any connection with reality. And reality is where I live, and reality is where I want to make progress. You know what I'm saying? Fantasy land was not going to help me make any progress. The ability to ask questions is extremely powerful as long as it bounces them off of reality. Reality keeps your thoughts on track. Thoughts take you out of reality, and it seems to never bring you back. It's the same with religion and theology, which, you can't ask questions really, or if you can ask questions, it's got to be within the constructs of their philosophical belief, and it's really never bounced off of reality. So it's just, again, it's a bunch of mental masturbation too. That is exactly why FWG, which again is falling away at growth, will dominate all religions in time. FWG doesn't fight reality, but uses it just like science. FWG uses everything that works and nothing that doesn't, and science has things that work, so FWG incorporates them. Again, great religions boil down to common sense, not nonsense. Here's something that really came from the Buddha. It's not really mine, but this is my way of saying it. Your senses keep you in reality while your thoughts carry you away from it. So, when you feel your mind getting away from reality, just go outside, touch the grass, use your senses, and you'll feel the thoughts subsiding a little bit. So, till the next video, later, folks.